positively, without a doubt, know who's devoid of him. Okay? You know, it got the Kenites, sons of Cain, but now anybody else he's a cardio know. He could say that to this man because he knew. Just like he said, Esau I hate. Why? Because in the first service he didn't care nothing about nothing to God. Now let's keep going. See what I'm saying? He said, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? Since you didn't give me no credit, I'm going to give you the credit, but I'm going to still show you who it's yours. See what I'm saying? You said you provided them. Now who's going to deal with it? You ain't going to do it because hey, case closed, that's it. You didn't respect me. You told me you don't want nothing to do with me. You try to claim your soul. You try to work out your own soul salvation. You try to do that in your own strength. Never going to happen. There's a lot of people tell you, I'm a good person. I go to work every day. I take care of my family. I don't curse. Hey, that ain't got anything to do with it. He said, you can curse at me. You can do whatever you want to. But you better learn my word. Okay? It's important that we understand that. That's why the Lord keeps leading. I ain't waiting. Just know. Then as I begin to study and meditate, it's starting to show forth even more. So is he, now notice it did a comparison. So is he that layeth up treasure for himself. Now understand what he puts you in the same category when you get into self-gratification. See, everybody think treasure could be gold, but treasure can be 100 different things. You see what I'm saying? You have a special whatever you like more than anybody else. Instead of letting somebody else in the house share it, you had it for yourself. That's a treasure then. But what they do with treasure, they hide it. And every time I may have done it, I had to rebuke it. You know, sometimes when I studied this, I had to say, Lord, forgive me, and I'm going to have to ask my wife too. So a lot of times she don't want me to have certain cookies. I'll hide them, see. I'm telling on myself. But I mean, see, that's when I studied, I said, wait a minute. Hey, I have a right to do it, but I don't. If my wife didn't care, if somebody was not looking out for you, they wouldn't tell you nothing in the first place. So, you know, but yet you got a will, so you can kind of override that sometimes. But you don't want to make it a treasure. You don't want to hide anything back. You don't want to do something and because he said, now just think about that. Maybe you did have some unusual items or everything. You know, one thing I want to do is make sure my wife is aware of what, you know, some of the things I've collected. You know, I've done that for some other people. I say, well, Lord, you know, other people have asked me, and I hope somebody do that for my Lord. Those are things that even after I'm gone, should I go first, or even if both of us are gone, our children, if they are aware of them, see what I'm saying? They can in turn do whatever they want to with them, turn them into cash. I mean, I've seen dudes appreciate. Folks out there just like this man think they got to buy everything to make themselves look happy. But most folks don't realize that Bill Gates, they stumbled in and verified that Leonardo da Vinci, they found some of his notebooks, and they were genuine. They, you know, carbon dated them and did everything. He paid $28 million for 2 notebooks of Da Vinci, okay? These things go on. Some of us don't know what we have, and we'll throw it away. So that's what I'm saying. With an open heart, even if you don't know, God's going to make sure you do know. He'll send somebody. So he that layeth up treasures for himself is not rich towards God. Now, wait a minute. So if you're on the other side, that means I don't care how rich you get, but you can be on the right side and not only be rich, but rich towards God. You got to make that decision. See, all of this is preparing you for that end time, and we're getting close. 22, and he said unto his disciples, Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, neither for your body, what you shall put on. But yet, hey, we wouldn't have fashion shows if that was not a thing of the cosmos. Not saying we can have anything you want. Because really, if we had that garment that these were, they're trying to make Jesus poor, but them soldiers was gambling for that thing. It must have been pretty nice. And they didn't want to cut it up because they knew it was valuable. You see what I mean? The life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Now that's a Hebraism. In other words, the body is more than what you eat or drink. You know, a whole another sphere of food. See, people can make food of God. And it's a treasure. And they have all these chefs, and they set it up any kind of way, and you know, all of that. Nothing wrong with that. But don't make it so that you, they call it a connoisseur of this, or a connoisseur. Enjoy the stuff that God made and go on and do your thing. Nothing wrong with understanding what you're drinking and what you're eating. But now, that same piece of something that you got a little piece like that, you done paid 4 times as much for it, and you could have bought a whole cow almost what that thing is, and you don't have nothing. This is what I mean by just using common sense. No charge. Now, the life is more than meat, and the body is more than raiment. Consider the ravens. They neither sow nor reap. In other words, they ain't out there doing nothing but what I ordained them to do. Don't put a raven down. He's doing exactly what God put him on this earth to do. Eat up all the dead stuff and the germy stuff so we don't do it. Now, if the raven go around and eat up the dirt and all of that and the dead stuff and keep the, you know, the disease from us, nobody have any problem not saying, I ain't eating no raven. I don't care how hungry I get. You understand that, don't you? I know buzzard. They're put here for a reason, but yet we'll eat a coon. Are you still a scavenger? Or we'll eat a catfish, or we'll eat whatever. But I mean, that's not a sin unto death. That's a sin against your body. That's what he's saying. It's more than, you can't let, boy, ain't nobody gonna go, when God done told every Christian don't eat nothing out of the sea, but we have scales and fins. But boy, if they go to them Bahamas, they'll run over you, try to get some conch. You see what I'm saying? I mean, they'll do it. Because that's what everybody say you should do when you go to the Bahamas or wherever it is. And some folks got it bad, they'll send a plane to pick it up. It's a shellfish, a heavy shellfish. They pick it out. You know, and we're not supposed to eat that. Don't have no scales, you know, nothing that, you don't eat no camel, because he may chew the cud in his foot, but you don't mess with him. It's some other rules, okay? That's what I mean. You see what I mean? Notice, which neither have storehouses nor barns, and God feedeth him. Now, how do you know God can use them? Ask Brother Elijah when he was by the brook Cherith, when God sent what? Ravens. Not for him to eat them, but they brought him food. In other words, God is in absolute control. When the brook dried up, God said, move on, boy. There's a widow down there going, you know, he just does what he do, as the old folks say. He's going to take care of his own. He has no barn, and God feedeth him, and how much more are you better than the fowls? Question. Do you realize just how valuable you are to God? You're a child. They want you back. And which of you, with taking thought, can add to his stature 1 cubit? Worry is, don't let him see you sweat, because that's what he's saying here. I don't care how much you worry about it. I don't care how much whatever the folks say, you get all bent out and sitting, I'm just ready to get laid. And hey, I'm a child of the King. If God don't want me, if he got something, he'll give me something better. You have to believe that. Because otherwise you get all caught up in the same morass as the world. And if ye then, Be not able to do that thing which is least. Come on now, you can't handle that least stuff. You see what I'm saying? Why taketh ye thought for the rest? Question. There's a lot of things. You can't handle the little things. You see what I'm saying? In other words, I'm telling you right now, can you say, son, raise in the morning? No. Some of us don't even want to cut our grass sometimes. Let's get real. See, we can't do the little things. And one Hebrew said, how can you not even run with the horses and then you can't, something like that. You know what I'm talking about. And you can't keep up. You can't handle the other mountains. There are certain things we can't handle. Because if we could, we wouldn't let it happen to us. We wouldn't get no whatever or run ourselves down because we are overriding and striving. I'm not saying you're not to work, but don't do it to the point that you have an alternate. Hey, when we do what we're supposed to do, God will take care of the rest. That's all you got to do. And I mean, consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. Yet I say unto you that Solomon, in all of his glory, I know where I am, y'all. I ain't forgot the text yet, but I want you to get to this. You see what I'm saying? I ain't forgot that. We're going to get back to it so you can see. But Solomon in all, now please understand, in all of his glory, was not arrayed like one of these. If God so clothes the grass, which is today in the field, and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? Now, understand these things. Once you get them firmly in your heart, then Mark 13 is a walk in the park. He's going to take care of you. It doesn't matter. These two chapters run hand in hand when you really start looking at it. Okay, because you need to know these things so that when you are taken before the synagogue of Satan, all these things would have already been marked in your forehead. You know it. It's in your brain. You can sit there with absolute comfort. Okay? Now let's start at Mark, the 14th verse, as the text says. This is very important. You know, all the other things you've read, and I would encourage you, you'll find, it says Mark 13 and 14 verse. But when you shall see, this is very important, because it's not quite, let me go through. But when you shall see the abomination of desolation, or the abomination of the desolator, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where he ought not, let him that readeth understand. Now, I mean, you got that in parentheses now. That was added by the translator. Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains. Now, what are we talking about here? That's when the instead of Christ comes, and he's standing where he ought not be. In other words, he's not the one. You understand? You got to understand that. Now let's go to Daniel 11 and 31 and 32. Makes it plain. This is what he's talking about in Daniel. Now understand, arm represents power. He said he gonna perform tricks, if you've ever read, that where even with food elect, he's gonna pop his fingers and lightning gonna come down and all of that. And arm shall stand on his part. In other words, he's gonna do some miraculous things because folks ain't read any Bible and nor studied the actual manuscripts. This is gonna blow their mind. Look how they act around Michael Jackson and that other fellow, Elvis Presley, dead, and they folks still fall out if they see something on the screen. Folks are just, in other words, what he does, his arms is part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary.